ball.
I mean, we keeping the buck right now. We had
to win games. You have to win the game.
Happy to beat everybody associated with the game.
Finish the fucking game. Like, let's end it.
Calling both games.
I wish it didn't have to start like this. The NFL world lost one of its brothers in arms this past week. Marshawn Kneeland, a Dallas Cowboy and former second-round pick looked as a future contributor on their defense, has died. It's surreal. He had just recovered a blocked punt for a touchdown against the Cardinals days earlier. Marshawn looked to be on top of the world with a bright future ahead of him. Yet he took his own life after wrecking his car at the age of 24. 24. Severe depression doesn't care for your standing in life or the support system around you. It affects anyone and everyone all the same. Thank God Dallas is on their bye week. I feel for the men in that locker room. To lose one of your teammates like this is a tragedy no one should have to experience. And all they can do is try to heal from the trauma in real time. If you're in that darkness and thinking about suicide, seek help any way you can. I know it's tough as a man to admit the need for it, but it's something you have to do. Farewell, Marshawn. You had a lot more to give to this world on and off the field. Oh, Thursday Night Football, I missed you so damn much. Kids these days don't know how terribly beautiful these games can be. The Zoomers were rightfully complaining because neither team could football competently at all. Both teams had more penalties on the day than first downs. A combined 9 for 31 on 3rd and 4th down. They nearly had as many punts combined as they did points. And Denver's punter apparently sucks ass. Even then, there's sadly about 5 people who are any good on the Raiders. So the millions of chances they have are squandered thanks to their incompetence. We know the Raiders suck, that's not news. The real damnation's to Denver. Their defense, really good, although there's an asterisk since it's against the auto front. But their offense? I don't want to hear anyone claim that Sean Payton can devise a good game plan in 2025 again. His unit's lifeless and inept for long stretches. Their fans can delude themselves into thinking Bo Nix isn't anything other than a glorified Tebow, but today was his worst performance in about 3 weeks. How the hell are you struggling this much against Las Vegas? This defense gave up 20 points in 20 minutes to goddamn Rain Man at QB last week. Great, you won ugly yet again because you played another shit team. Congratulations, you're on the road to getting your asses kicked in January. I'm not saying this to be a hater. I'm saying it because I've seen this movie play out many times before. Get your fucking shit together on offense or you're gonna die in hilarious fashion. This team's won 7 in a row. They're not even the 2020 Steelers. That offense was better than this. Deutschland, der Ort, wo Trauma verwerten. Falcons und Colts liefern sich in Berlin ein großes Duell. Es wird ein Kampf wie kein anderer. Man konnte es Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade gegen die eigenen Fehler. So viele selbstverschuldete Blessungen, dann man meinen konnte, sie wären durch den Versailler Vertrag behindert. Money Badger, ja? Der unpassendste Spitzname, den sich je jemand gegeben hat. Wenn nicht das, dann kommt Danny Derbs trotzdem in den Kampf gegen sich selbst und den Unterblick im Passrush der Falcons wieder auf. Wissen wir immer noch nicht, was Atlanta ist. Sind sie unglaublich gut oder exzellent schlecht? Ich kann es nicht sagen. Sie werden diese brillante Momente haben und dann mit schlampigem Offensivspiel kontern. Penix wird mit Krafthacken nach vorne perschen und dann, nachdem man sein Pulver verschossen hat, unter Funktionsstörungen leben. Wir machen uns große Sorgen Indy wegen ihrer trägen Leistungen im 4. Viertel. Dann erinnert man sich. Jonathan Taylor.
They got 2nd and short. That means it's Taylor time, and he's got the first down, and he busts away from the pack for plenty more. Jonathan Taylor, big run. There he goes, and Indianapolis takes the lead.
Wer hatte gedacht, dass es gut so laufen würde, in den Ball zu gehen? Und wer hatte gedacht, dass Atlanta auch in den letzten Angriffspässen zu solchen Aktionen fähig ist? Und es wird nicht allein an Penix oder Bijan liegen, wie man vielleicht erwarten würde. Das war das Geheimnis des Tyler Algier und eine 2-Point-Conversion für Drake London, den Mann mit den Handen. Aber sie verstehen Daniel Jones und seine Joker-Face nicht. Wollt ihr wissen, wie ich auf diese Punkte gekommen bin? Der Money Badger ist... Money. Verrückt, oder? Donner Money ist es nicht. Grüße an die Bears-Fans. Die Verlängerung beginnt. Die Money tapt Atlanta beim ersten Versuch völlig im Dunkeln. Sie spielen wieder einmal Falcon. Also werden sie dem Angriff von Indianapolis zum Opfer fallen. Wenigstens machen sie es für uns so schnell. Doch leider folgt die Berliner Mauer vor der Macht von Jonathan Taylor.
Right back to Taylor with Warren blocking. Touchdown Taylor!
Die Colts entkamen den Falcons, die aktuell das unzuverlässigste Team der NFL sind. Die absolute Unbeständigkeit des Footballs verkuppelt in einen einzigen Franchise. Ein vermeintlich widersprechendes Jahr wie jedes andere vergeht. Trotz der Bemühungen ihrer Passverteidigung. Die Falcons haben so eine 4 Spiele in Folge verloren. Der wahre Gewinner konnten die Rams sein. The team that was forced to call a timeout before a ball was snapped on offense and looked completely out of sorts for weeks on end, beat a supposed Super Bowl juggernaut in the Bills, and won it in an utter rout. Buffalo, did you deal with the same hex the Jags did after beating the Chiefs? They won their version of the Super Bowl and apparently didn't bother to show up for their next contest. And worse, this is against the team they've owned like a used car with extended warranty. They went for the subprime mortgage on it. It backfired horrifically. Every chance to bring it close on offense? Fumbles, dropsies, and end zone picks for days on end. Did it usually have to be deep in their territory, though? Buffalo could have had Jalen Waddle, but Miami wanted a 2026 first for him, so he burns them throughout. Same goes for Devon Achane. There were so many damn trade rumors about him that never came to pass, but here he is scorching this damaged Bills defense like there's no tomorrow. Over 200 all-purpose yards and outright humiliation. You still consider the Bills to be a Super Bowl contender after watching them this year? You're a fool. They have far too many injuries and flaws to be thought of as such. You're really blaming this on the Heat, Greg? That's why you lost? You grew up in Florida and went to the fucking U. How the fuck is that an excuse? You still have no concerns about the passing game, Mr. Brady? And again, it was snowing in Buffalo this weekend. They might have found a way to lose to Miami's kryptonite up there, too. Carolina had a chance to overcome the stereotype. This was their biggest test. You may see a terrible Saints team in front of you, but this is the kind of team the Panthers lose to against all odds. Living up to that tradition, they proceeded to lay a gigantic egg at home. This wasn't a fluke, it wasn't a play or two, the whole team looked lethargic and flat in all 3 facets of play. They made Tyler Shook look more than competent on the field. Carolina willingly stepped on landmines every chance they could. Careless errors and fuck-ups leading to a disaster. You'll try to say Bryce Young has all those comeback drives, but he just doesn't have it. He fails to elevate his team and makes terrible decisions on the regular. Young wasn't the main problem, though. It was everything that fell apart. The Saints were the significantly better team. It was as if they reverted back to 2020 form here. You complain that I have no faith in the Panthers? You say that I don't give them enough credit? It's because of bullshit like this. They not only failed to silence the doubters, they fucking vindicated them. I'm still lost, though. How the fuck did this happen? The Meow-Mix podcast is back? That honestly tracks. Someone needs to get them to cancel it again. That podcast is a curse on the Panthers. Look, I don't make the rules here. When Carolina's shitting the bed against the tank bowl contender, you have to consider all superstitions. Figures New Orleans shows up against a division rival. Worst concoctions of pigskin always take place at MetLife. Breakthroughs and horror abound between 2 terrible teams. In the MetLife lab, the Browns are finding new and exciting ways to lose football games. In their innovation, they discovered how to give up consecutive return touchdowns. Both a kick return TD and a punt return TD. No flags, just clean football against the factory of sadness. It gets better, too. They lost to a team that traded their 2 best defenders for futures days earlier. They lost to a team that had benched Quincy Williams. Best of all, they lost to a team without a quarterback. They fielded one even worse than your non-factor under center Cleveland. Yes, Dylan Gabriel was somehow the best QB on the field. He threw for more than 12 yards through the air. Justin Fields' biggest play was a 42-yard check down to Breece Hall. The rest was agony worthy of Tank Bull and Sparrow Ditas on the call. The Browns can't offense, we've known this. And every time Gabriel attempts to throw a pass more than 10 yards, we all cringe in disgust. Even without turning the damn ball over, it's a team preparing for Cancun come December. Yeah, the season's still going on by that point, but after this shit, you really had to lose the game on a hard count? A fucking hard count they were never gonna snap? God, the Browns really are useless. Clean fucking house. This season was wrecked the moment. Honestly, it ended last season. Jets win, but it's more or less by default. Still fucking hilarious. Too bad the Vikings' momentum from last week's win couldn't be replicated. Baltimore doesn't have that division shock factor like the Lions. The Ravens have already had their terrible losses. They're more interested in salvaging a supposed Super Bowl window by any means necessary, which is why Baltimore's giving them everything they have. But they fail to account for one thing. J.J. McCarthy is an alter ego. Like Bruce Wayne has Batman, he's got none. It's the gunslinging, take-no-prisoners personality that throws arm punts like nobody's business. Flexing his tremendous superpowers, making him more than a game manager. He's also a game mangler. Instead of saving Minneapolis from evil, he's burning it to the ground to watch the world burn. Sometimes you have to shelve the alter ego. I'd keep it away for at least 9 months, JJ. Maybe his 9 personality wills the Vikings kick returners to fumble everything in sight. Their favorite candy, apparently Butterfingers. With some fine self-destruction for the most part, I'll give them credit there. Everything's slipping away to hand Baltimore a convincing win. It's their 3rd in a row, and suddenly a season looking to be a disaster might be salvaged. The AFC North is once again in view. It's more due to their pathetic division, but Pittsburgh's simply keeping the seat warm for you. Get it back and put us all out of our misery. Can you? Do we still call this the Brady Bowl? Or do we revert to the Gronk Bowl? There are 2 former teams locking horns in a contest to prove who belongs near the top of the food chain. Both are running with momentum and trying to push away divisional competition. Yet this day would go to New England, and it would honestly be in most agonizing fashion. Problem is, the Bucs had problems with explosives. 4 plays. Tampa Bay gave up most of their yardage on defense in 4 plays. 250 of the 435 yards New England had on the day. That was the big difference. Tampa Bay just had too many ailments to truly counter the new wave of the Patriots in their resurgence. And sadly, it was more than those 4 plays. The only demerit for New England was an end zone pick. But the Buccaneers could never capitalize on it. Trust me, Baker tried. By God, he did his damnedest to will this team to a win while being completely undermanned on offense, but it was never enough. The Pats were always one step ahead. Then came the second Travion Henderson touchdown, and that was a wrap. Do you see the good that comes when giving Henderson the ball, New England? Do it more often. Good things will happen, just like this statement in Tampa. Buffalo's drifting further and further from view. Time really is a circle. The Patriots lording over the AFC East again. God have mercy on us all. We're already getting snow games? I'm not mentally ready for winter yet. Let me have my moments in the sun. Both the Giants and Bears are in their wheelhouse, even in these stereotypically windy conditions. And they'll have their chances to overtake the other in the grand scheme of play. Well, Chicago would have a chance if their receivers didn't drop every damn thing in sight. Keep your babies away from them. They will also be dropped. Their wideouts had 6 drops today. Could be 7 depending on the source. Of course your offense will sputter like that. And the G-men capitalize on those mistakes with a dart to the chest. And maybe the head a few times as well. It leads to a familiar situation. The Giants are doing their typical lead in the 4th quarter by multiple scores thing. I know the fear of blowing it's ever present. It's a Shane Bowen defense, I understand. But as long as Jackson Dart's in and they're producing on offense, they're fine.
Dart looking to find room himself again. Blockers in front. Jackson Dart inside the 20. The ball is out, and there it is.
Oh no. Dart's checked for his 4th concussion on the year, and he hasn't even started every game. Daboll's gonna turn him into primordial soup with this style of play. With him being out, you know what horrors this leads to. Russell Wilson riding into every single prop on set. Leaving out obstacles to run into just for fun. Mr. Unlimited Hilarity under center. For everyone outside of New York, of course. His leadership and experience will guide them to 7 yards on 12 plays to end the game. The strategy's against him simple. Just make him try to do things because he fucking can't anymore. We've seen this script before. Way too often. The Bears are going to use this momentum with about 4 minutes left to revive a dead campaign from the brink. You mean to tell me a Shane Bowen defense is getting extremely passive on the final few drives? Oh my God, what an unbelievable revelation. This isn't even anything heroic. This is simply leaving the door open and begging them to come in and rob you blind. And Caleb more than takes advantage. He's annoyingly inconsistent, but you can't deny he has talent. And that talent's gonna will his team to glory in the ugliest of fashion.
2nd down, a fake, a boot, Williams running. Caleb Williams into the end zone!
He's got that awkward Trevor Lawrence magic now. Either a terribly good or brilliantly bad quarterback. Carrying the team on his back with high-end talent to steal yet another win away from their adversary. It's sure as shit not sustainable, but I don't believe Chicago cares. It's a far better outcome than last year's team. Good fucking God. Let the G-men keep imploding in games with ease. That's what you get for trusting 2025 Russ and retaining Shane Bowen. Seriously, how the fuck hasn't that guy been axed yet? Unless you're trying to tank, then please continue what you're doing. You had to know this was coming. Even Giants fans knew this was going to be inevitable once the collapses commenced. We thought Brian's job might be safe thanks to the exciting lights, but like the short bursts of glory, it was fleeting. Brian Daboll tied his anchor to some loose wooden planks, and he predictably got lost at sea. There's only so much failure a team can tolerate. The Giants wanted progress and got yet another dud. Mr. Daboll, you're next on the chopping block. Bill Belichick texts him to congratulate him on this honor. Dude just lost his luster as well as weight. He had a damn fine 2022 debut, but it was obvious the G-men were playing eons over their head. They had little talent besides Saquon carrying them to relevance. The promise of a greater tomorrow consistently undone by constant mistakes, both in the front office and by himself in general. That spat with Wink Martindale was his undoing. Both of their egos couldn't stand the sight of each other and went their separate ways. So Daboll's response was to promote Shane Bowen, who has been fucking terrible as a coordinator. Dude's been near single-handedly responsible for blowing 3 or 4 games this year on his own, yet Daboll did nothing. Their ability to choke games this year rivaled peak falconing. And it cost him in the end. Mike Kafka is the new tank commander. Wait, what the hell is Shane Bowen still here? He's the guy that should have gone with Daboll. Although he does work for the tank. Tick, tick, Joe Shane. If you're not careful, you'll be falling to the sword soon enough as well. Wait a second, he's leading the next coaching search? Where the hell is he staying? He's made too many mistakes to keep his job. If you've been paying attention to Daboll as you should, anything that happens in these games won't be a shock. This was the most Jacksonville game that Jacksonville has played all season. Against the Texans squad with a terrible offense without C.J. Stroud, this should have been a cakewalk. It honestly was for long stretches of time. Houston straight up getting whipped up and down the field. Churned like butter for long stretches. 17 straight points to start the game for Duval. And the Texans straight up don't have any answers. None. It's the same thing as Denver last week, but it's no longer agonizingly close. It just gets agonizing. For both teams. Jacksonville may have a 19-point lead into the fourth that should be insurmountable, but let's be real for a second. Do you really think it's safe? These are the Jaguars, the NFL's version of a mystery box. Potentially dominant for quarters at a time, only to run out of quarters to put in the offensive machine. Before the final drive, do you know how many yards of offense they had in the fourth? 2 yards. You seriously expect to maintain a lead like that? The defense is finally going to break in that onslaught, even when facing General Mills. He's going to help them drive away and chip at that once insurmountable lead. As I said, this is the most Jacksonville thing that could happen. Volatility rivaling hydrogen on the field. And suddenly Mills is leading a comeback drive. One that honestly might save Houston's season from the brink. And one that says so much more about the Jags.
Davis Mills. What a rush, Walker. Steps up, he's gonna run! Mills looking for the pylon! He's got the angle! Touchdown, Texans!
General Mills stuck his neck out and dragged these Texans to a win, kicking and screaming. Oh, Duval, you both amaze and anger me at the same time. When will you ever not be an indecipherable wreck? And it still doesn't end there. Houston failed the 2-point conversion. It was only a 1-point deficit. You have a final drive with the chance to take the game back. All you needed were about 10 to 15 fucking yards to make it happen. What do the Jags do? Offensive penalty wiping away a big gain in T-Law happening again. This game ending on a strip sack, scoop and scoreagami. Peak Duval. Nothing signifies the Jaguars more than this jagging witnessed in real time. A very fine locale of the week. And there were some damn good candidates out there. Their machinations are a true enigma. Houston just Houstons to win. General Mills? We really have seen everything. This year needs to lay off the booze. The hits keep coming for Jacksonville. That non-contact injury Travis Hunter suffered in practice last week, it's a season ender. So not only does Duval have to deal with a brutal collapse, that might not have even been their biggest loss of the week. Hunter was special, man. Now he's gone until next year. They don't call it the no fun league for nothing, I guess. It must also mean players on the field. Seattle's on the warpath. It doesn't matter who stands in front of them, they will face the wrath of berserkers rampaging through the countryside. Arizona was simply an unfortunate victim of relentless belt-to-ass like Mike Dad coming back from a night of drinking. Purely indiscriminate obliteration of anything resembling pride or glory. Usually came in the form of DeMarcus Lawrence touchdowns. 2 of them, too. Before you sat down to drink your beer, it was 35-0 and this game was over. I think the Seahawks may have found their stride. They didn't even need Sam Darnold to go balls out. Barely tapping into full power, yet still convincingly crushing Arizona. Cardinals falling to the sword like the Pope's purging his ranks. Move over, Vatican City. There's only one crusade and it's involving Seahawks. Pure brutality to the point of Arizona putting in Keaton Slovis. That guy made the NFL? He was fucking terrible at Pitt. That's how you know the season's gone off the rails. The only positive for the Cardinals is that they didn't embarrassingly lose by one score again. They were embarrassed by multiple scores. Shit's getting real now. The overly complex John Morton scheme has been usurped for the ultimate punishment. Dan Campbell wearing spectacles. Washington, you're due. Sorry, that's just the rules of the game. Certain men want to name their new home Trump Stadium. I just call it RFK Stadium again. Like that man, the commies are long fucking dead. Detroit took a franchise eager to die, molded them like clay and let them sit in a kiln. They didn't even take them out, they let them burn. They watched them crack and break into a million pieces in a great lion assault. Nothing symbolizes Washington's futility more than this scenario. Jahmyr Gibbs scurries off for a 13-yard touchdown to take a 19-point lead. The commies suffer 2 injuries on defense during the damn play, and not only does Daron Payne have a big brain moment and punch a player in the neck afterwards to get disqualified, but Javon Kinlaw pushes a fucking ref in the process. Good lord, this sequence alone is DC season abridged. Thorough humiliation where the only thing to look forward to is Trump in the broadcast booth. Maybe he can call defensive plays too. Surely wouldn't hurt with how their season's gone to hell and back. That would at least be fun. This is simply torture, and it goes a hell of a lot deeper than surface level damage. The Lions merely exposed the fraud in real time. A big showdown to jockey for position in the NFC West. The Rams playing with fire and the 49ers dancing around it at every turn. So is Brock Purdy still injured, or is this another one of those soft benching since Mac Jones has been doing well? I honestly don't know. But the rules of the game were simple. LA had to win this one to keep up with the division race. And they more than certainly did. They played with spirit and dominated their hated rival with ease. Then again, this may just be the Niners running out of gas. They've lost so much manpower that the Rams could just run them over at rapid speed. Matthew Stafford had another near-immaculate day. His body's holding up and the production is more than doing that as of late. Stafford alone could have beaten the Niners today. He was that good. Kyron Williams' strong production was just a bonus. Although San Francisco's going to celebrate their real victory this week. No major injuries. A respite from IR hell. Glory hallelujah. The Rams are really damn close to making their true statement. This was a very convincing win, but the real test is next week. Seattle awaits, and they look damn good. If you want to be the champ, you have to beat the best available. Good luck, Rams. I hope Devontae Adams is ready to go for it. That injury he suffered late might be a bit concerning. The stage is set. Over 4/5 of SoFi Stadium rooting for the black and gold. Coming off a stunning win against the Colts where the defense balled out. Up against a team becoming a glorified cripple, and they play their worst game in years. Coached and maneuvered into a blender by a Chargers team without anything resembling an offensive line or healthy defensive unit. Shit, that defense didn't need to be at full strength. They silenced a struggling Pittsburgh offense at every turn. This is the Aaron Rodgers I was fearing I'd see when the Steelers signed him. He was terrible. And that's putting it lightly. Missing throws left and right, running right into sacks, and overall being unable to do a damn thing against the schemes of Liquid LA. The whole offense is a damn mess. They were 0 for infinity on 3rd down until the 4th quarter. Even Boswell was missing kicks. The Colts played their damn hearts out. And put together not only their gutsiest win of the year, it might be their most dominant. A true statement against perpetual 9-8 Super Bowl. The Steelers apparently won theirs last week and merely chose to stun the home crowd at SoFi. The formerly San Diego faithful get to celebrate into the night. Keenan Allen set the franchise record for most career receptions. It was that kind of day for both teams. How long can the Bolts keep this up without a real O-line, though? Herbert's still getting fucking killed out there. Apparently we were ungrateful for the terrible bounty that was Thursday Night Football, so it must be repeated in terms of score. Ice-cold conditions with an ice-cold Packers offense without their best receivers against Jalen Hurts in the cold anchored by Kevin Patullo. And both defenses are really damn good. So what you're going to be getting is some of the most hilarious football in about a day. Turns out that's what happens when you get defensive gauntlets. It's an entertaining game about nothing. Just young and hungry units shutting down anything resembling production. Matt LaFleur's going to his offensive workshop to find a way to break through. And the games he's playing are without compare. Remember when people said the Packers were Super Bowl bound? I thought they had a legitimate chance too, but after the struggles they've endured, with Jordan Love being Jordan Love for long stretches of time, the luster is worn off. They miss Tucker Kraft badly. Undermanned and nobody can catch a damn thing. And then it got worse the moment Elton Jenkins went out. He's gonna be gone for a while too. And Green Bay's Trevor Lawrence happened again immediately thereafter. Philadelphia's running draw plays on 3rd and long like Patullo's invented the damn wheel, but the Pack Arena can simply do nothing. It takes a while, but Philadelphia finally scores points. Crazy to think, points in a football game. And a deep ball by Jalen. See what happens when you do the opposite of what you do, Mr. Patullo? Shit, even the Packers respond in kind with a drive of their own. 3-point ball game. A chance for Green Bay to steal things. And shit just gets hilarious. Philadelphia is known for eating shitloads of clock to end games, and they do to start. Then immediately throw 2 straight incompletions to stop the clock and give the Packers a chance. And they will push. Somewhat. Matt LaFleur's going back to the workshop. 4th and 1 is here. So many options. So much opportunity. Draw play out of shotgun. Draw play out of shotgun? Are you fucking serious, Matt? Apparently Sirianni saw this and wanted to one-up him in the clown department. 4th and mid-range at the Packer 35. And you throw a go route? Yeah, the Eagles won that Super Bowl in spite of their coach. Green Bay gets yet another chance to do something late. Yeah, we all know it'll come up short because of NFC North curses in the distance. It comes down to the leg of McManus from 64 yards away.
Yeet.
And it's so far left that Antifa's calling it extreme. Philadelphia wins in a defensive stranglehold. Both teams need to get their shit together offensively, even the Eagles. Although we've been saying this about them for months, so congratulations on dodging a massive bullet today, I guess. Green Bay will simply die in the corner. Before we end, the NFL suffered another massive loss this weekend. Former longtime commissioner Paul Tagliabue has died at the age of 84. Under his reign, the NFL went from a rising and popular league into a juggernaut. The 80s were a time of inconsistent turmoil. Multiple player strikes, attendance woes for more than a few teams, Mayflower trucks, and conflict throughout. When Tagliabue took the role, he led the league to unparalleled peace and stability, enhancing the NFL's image while expanding it to 32 teams, showing strong growth while maintaining the game and its traditions. The introduction of free agency and the salary cap happened in his time, establishing the league's roots in Europe. Paul did have his flaws, but in the aggregate he was a very solid commissioner, guiding the league through multiple tragedies, including 9/11. New Orleans in general owes him a great deal for saving their franchise from nearly moving after Katrina. He shaped a lot of our childhoods, and led to a peace the league has enjoyed for a while. For that, his impact has been felt for generations. Farewell, Paul. May the next life treat you as well as this one.
Bring out Jennings!
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Bring out Jennings! Bring out
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Thanks very much. See you on Thursday. Right.
Our country has over $17 trillion being invested in it, which is a record. So we're doing great, just like they have to do great right now.
4th and short.
Let's see what happens.
On 4th down, Mariota throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Just like you dialed it up. Samuel.
See, that was very important. Got a little ways to go yet, but still, that was very important.